Hi, this is Landlord playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And this time it is going to be a little bit different, because I am going to be checking out a demo for a game developed for the 2022 Vampire the Masquerade Game Jam, which is a game-making competition run, I believe, by Paradox or whoever is holding the rights for Vampire the Masquerade, that lets upcoming developers actually use the World of Darkness as a basis for their game, and if they are chosen later on down the line in the competition, they can actually release it as a full game and, you know, reap all of the some of the benefits in agreement with Paradox of using the license. Now, obviously, this is just a demo. I don't know what to expect, really. How long is it going to be? What kind of does it present a coherent sort of chunk of narrative, or is it more of a tech demo, just showcasing the game? But I promised my friend, because my friend is actually developing this game for the contest, that I am going to give her my feedback and, you know, whatever I think about it. And I just thought it might be nice, you know. Hopefully she manages to be one of the projects that get chosen later down the line, and they get to develop this as a full-fledged game. And in such case, I definitely will be making a full playthrough, and I think it would be interesting to have like a like a memoir of the initial first impressions of the demo. So it's called Project Sunset, and you get this pretty atmospheric landing page here with a mysterious dark figure near the Las Vegas sign. So controls WSD, QA, blah blah blah, move to point, interact with, highlight objects, controls help, blah blah blah, select dialog option. Okay, so from this it seems it's kind of like an adventure game. Move to point, interact with. Let's just start and see how it goes. Saturday, June the 14th, 1986. I am Desiree Bardot, a PI working in the heart of Las Vegas. In another life, I was a respected journalist bringing accountability to those in power, but now I often find myself digging up dirt for those same power brokers. When I can find work, that is. I used to have it all, career, money and a happy marriage. Now the only company I keep is the cockroaches, as I struggle to make rent for my crummy apartment in West Vegas. Things could be worse, I suppose. Okay, there's a typo here, so, you know. And to be honest, am I supposed to take it at face value as a literal journal entry? Because if so, this doesn't make sense. Even as internal monologue, it doesn't make sense. It's the most sort of ham-fisted type of exposition that you can even imagine. Who thinks to themselves in the middle of living their life, oh, I am so-and-so doing so-and-so? Like, that's kind of, you know, I feel like that's not particularly great, but that might be just for the demo, as a sort of as a narrative setup of the sort of background information. But either way, I think, you know, maybe things could be done with it so that it's more, you know, the information about your character gets revealed more through interacting with the world rather than this straight up exposition dump. Like, for example, she used to be a PI, so you could find like newspaper clippings or notes from her old cases, or like one of those murder boards with, you know, strings and photos connected with each other or something. Because as is, this is kind of dumb. Nobody would write something like this, and nobody would even think something like this. Who just wakes up one day and thinks, oh, my name is this and this and my job is this and this? Nobody does that. Anyway, also there's a typo here with the word worse. The non-stop cacophony pounds your head like a sledgehammer. You barely manage to open your eyes before the fluorescent light burns your corneas. Desiree's inner monologue, kill me. You've never been this hungover in your life. Worse than that one time in college. strangest of all, the metallic taste of iron lingers in the back of your throat. What happened last night? Okay, so a pointer about the UI. I think this could not be displayed. Like, I don't think this matters. Once I click continue, I don't think I need the continue message to be in my dialogue. It's a minor thing, but you know, just something that popped into my head when I saw it. Now, my money is on I am a vampire. Most likely, this is a Vampire the Masquerade game, and obviously the metallic taste of iron. You know, blood is said to sometimes taste a little metallic, which, you know, it contains iron in it, so maybe that's part of it. So yeah, what happened last night? I imagine I've probably got turned. Because, you know, that implies I've been drinking blood, right? And that I do believe that's very much a requirement to... Although, is it? I'm kind of rusty on my Vampire the Masquerade lore. I think they have to drain your blood and then feed you some of their blood. Okay, so that checks out. That checks out. And get up. That's an interesting picture. The sort of her hair looks almost like a halo. Answer the phone. Okay, do I have any, like, can I explore the apartment before I do that? You know what, I could make it maybe a little bit... Oh, character sheet. Okay. So apparently I'm pretty charismatic, have my wits about me, investigation on a high level, because I'm a detective. Subterfuge. So that's, I believe that's straight up a World of Darkness character sheet just copied into the game. Journal. Major cases. Objectives. Settings. Okay, so again, I do realize this is a demo, and this is probably, you know, something the developers of the game didn't maybe have time to include, but I definitely think there should be a way to, because I wanted to up the audio a little bit. I think I made it a little too quiet, but there isn't an option to do that here. I would have to click to go back to the main menu, but I understand, you know, this is just a demo and supposedly a short one, so perhaps that wasn't one of the top priorities to... the UI is interesting. It's sort of neon-y. Which makes sense, you know, coupled with the splash page and it being set in Vegas. You know, the neon lights is something that's very, and sort of bright, eye-catching colors is something that's very much connected with at least sort of this popular image of Vegas, at least here in Europe. You know, obviously I'm not from the States, so I know next to nothing about the intricacies of how Las Vegas actually is. Anyway, can I explore my apartment? Can I, like, look around at stuff? Doesn't look like it. You know what? I am going to... do it like this. It's a bit of a clunky way to do it, but... I think I set the music and the sounds too low. I can't really view anything else, like look at detail at anything else, which is a bit of a pity, but maybe that's because I'm still in the introductory stage of the thing. You pick up the phone. The last voice you ever wanted to hear blares out on the line. Your ex-husband. Hey Des, how have you been? The worst part is you know that the question is sincere. So, I take it we're on amicable terms with my ex? I guess I've not been that great, you know. Generally, I think if I think something wrong has happened to me, or something wrong might happen to me, I think it's sensible to let people know about it, because if I mysteriously disappear, they might have more of a clue about what might have happened, or that it even did happen. Although again, in this specific case, maybe not the best idea because of the whole masquerade thing, but my character doesn't know that, so I guess I would answer truthfully. Not going to lie to you, I've been better. I'm sorry to hear that. This has been hard on both of us. Listen, I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from, but I was calling to see if you have any updates on the money I lent you. Okay, so we'll get straight up skill checks in dialogue, which is par for the course, for this type of game, and I very much approve. Although, what I wonder is it like I don't know the inner workings of the game. Is it going to be an actual roll, as in the tabletop, against like a set difficulty, or is it derived straight from my statistics? I'm working on it, give me time. Okay, so I guess it is a roll, because otherwise I don't think, although, okay, that doesn't necessarily translate, because it still could be a failure or a success, regardless of whether it's a straight number or a roll. Now, another thing to maybe consider, I don't know how long the conversations are going to get eventually in the game, but I think maybe it would be worth thinking about, displaying like a paragraph and then letting you click left mouse button or space or whatever to get on to the next paragraph, rather than it going on by itself. Because look, even here, I could be reading it as it goes along, and most people would, and it doesn't go so quick, so it's not really a problem. But if you're someone who records things, for YouTube or like a Let's Play, and you want to say something about a given paragraph of text that has appeared earlier, then the conversation sort of passes you by. Like, if anything, maybe every time the speaker changes, maybe give it a pause and be dependent on like the player input. You have to click something to advance it. I don't know. I'm not a game developer myself. I'm not sure if that's like sensible game design. I don't have any experience in that field. I'm just spitballing my own ideas based on player feedback. Okay, so it was a success. I trust you. Just keep me updated, alright? You know better than anyone, I'm not exactly swimming in cash here. He awkwardly chuckles. Guilt hits you like a bag of bricks. He doesn't deserve this. Will do. I'll let you go get to it then. Bye, Des. He quickly catches his mistake and hangs up the phone. Just the force of habit, you tell yourself. The worst part is you would have reciprocated. You didn't want it to end like this. You wish he never gave you the loan, but you also knew you would never be able to start your agency without it. You used to talk about having a suburban fantasy with a white picket fence and kids running in the backyard, but you just weren't ready. How far things have come since then. Your headache is getting worse by the minute. You rub your fingers against the temple to no avail. You need something to take the edge off. Okay, so it's definitely an amicable divorce. We're still on good terms. Grab the meds from the bathroom. Still nothing with the... Oh, okay. So I can look around the apartment now. Okay, and there exists a button, which, to be honest, did the controls tell me that? I'm not entirely sure, because if not, I just randomly clicked tab and it highlighted all of the usable objects. I think that's definitely a good choice, game design wise, because most people are pretty annoyed by this idea of pixel hunting, you know, where you have to look for a small object in a cluttered environment, and especially if someone has, you know, like vision problems or something. It would be very frustrating to, for example, having to fish out this specific gun that you can pick up from all of the trash on the table. So that is definitely a good call, and I do have an investigation board. So again, the introduction with the journal, I think that was unnecessary. Your investigation board is empty. Beside the overdue bills, you've posted as fearful motivation. Hopefully things will pick up soon. All takeout boxes and receipts. Interesting. I wonder. Oh. I wonder what's the significance of, you know, the investigation board. It disappeared from, like, it stopped being interactable once I looked at it, but this trash can did not. You pick up the 9mm handgun Chad bought you to keep you safe. The metal is normally cool in your hands, but now suspiciously has no temperature. I'll take it. I think I might need it after all. Oh, there's a crowbar behind the TV. An old crowbar Chad bought you. Should come in handy. The sink is clogged again. Repair it yourself. What's my repairs and what was it? Intelligence and craft? I have 0, so I don't think this would work. Intelligence and craft. Repair it yourself. No, I think that has, you know, a high potential of flooding my entire apartment. It has been out for 2 days, but you're so hungry. Grab a slice. As soon as the cheese hits your mouth, you immediately get queasy. You can't tell if it's because it was left out or your hangover. Probably both. You try to hold it down, but you end up puking whatever you ate last night. It's suspiciously red in hue, but you hardly notice. Now you're only hungrier. Yo, I need a shower. Yeah, because if I am a vampire and it all points into me being one, then I can no longer process regular food. I subside entirely on blood. You pick up the phone. Who do you call? Call the landlord. Sunset Acres Apartments, how can I help you? Hey Kevin, it's Desiree. Sink is clogged again. Again? There's no way, I just fixed it last week. You must be washing grease down the drain. Not my problem. Hire a plumber. You can hear his contempt through the phone. To be honest, you know what would be good? I think it would be an option to display your dice pool, because I don't remember off the top of my head how good my character is in those given things. Like, you know, I just don't remember. So I think it would be good if it displayed your dice pool like next to it, so that you can gauge whichever approach is best to a given character based on your stats, basically. I think my charisma is pretty good, but like 3. But I don't know. I don't know, for example, I don't remember my manipulation score. Please, Kevin, I'm just trying to get my life together here. Let's go for charisma and subterfuge. Although he doesn't seem a type of person that would be receptive to that kind of straight-up politeness. He clearly doesn't like me that much. But let's just try it. Success. It must be hard for you not having a man in your life. I guess I'll help. Gross. Yeah, I concur. That's pretty gross. Let me get dressed. I'll be over in a bit. Thanks, Kevin. He hangs up. Answer the door. Well, which door would that be? Like, I assume this is the bathroom because obviously it needs to have water access that's shared with the kitchen. So I would assume, and this is the coat hanger, so this is most likely my front door. Must say, he was rather quick with it. You rush to the door. As soon as you do, Kevin barges past you and steps into the apartment. He immediately covers his nose. What the hell is that smell? What do you mean? You don't smell that? Smells like... Never mind. Let me take a look at that sink. Continue. Kevin bends over and takes a look under the sink. You find yourself looking at him in a different way. You can't nail down. He looks strangely delicious. Feed, says my beast. Says my beast. You try your best to suppress your strange hunger. Here we go. Kevin leverages his wrench and loosens a bolt. As the pipe opens, blood sprays him, leaving him soaked. The bathroom key and an eyeball falls onto Kevin's chest. He jumps with his eyes wide in horror. Feed. Kevin brings his attention to you, clearly in shock. The blood covering him only makes him more appetizing. You catch yourself licking your lips. Stay away, you monster. Kevin starts to run towards the door. Don't deny me, says the beast. You pounce on Kevin as a matter of instinct, sinking your teeth into his throat. Wet, warm blood fills your throat. This is what you've been craving. Hunger is set to 0. Okay, that's unfortunate, but to be honest, that was a pretty bad outlook anyway, because apparently I had an eyeball in my sink. I'm pretty sure he would have reported that. You know, he's dead, so, you know, there's nothing, like, apart from not calling him, which, you know, perhaps I should have figured that out. I am a newly turned vampire that's hungry, so to be honest, it was pretty dumb of me to actually call him. But I think, you know, from a role-playing perspective, that kind of makes sense on two fronts. Because first, a regular, well-adjusted person wouldn't just straight up assume he's a vampire out of the blue. And second, if you take the beast into account, you know, that's basically takeout food. Like, I bought delivery. And technically it even worked out this way, which obviously is pretty horrible for Kevin here, who died, but it's pretty swell for my inner beast, who was hungry. Now, I'm not sure if more advanced animations are planned in the game later on, or is it strictly sort of point and click, limited graphical representation type of deal? Because, you know, I understand animation is hard and time consuming and costly, but it's a bit weird for him to just suddenly fall dead without me really doing anything. Even though it's described in text, I leapt on him and killed him. When you retract your bite, his limp body falls to the ground. The shock of what you've just done hits you at once. Holy fuck, what did I... And try to save him. Could I? Like, at the very least I would try, I guess, in such a situation. You try to administer CPR, but end up hearing the crack of his ribs breaking. What little of his blood remains pools on the floor. To be honest, wouldn't you, like, how did I kill him? Like, what was the actual... You pounce on Kevin, sinking your teeth. Yeah, so I ripped out his throat. I don't think CPR would help when you're bleeding out. Like, you know, if your heart stops as a result of bloodlust, you would need to first of all stop the bleeding, and probably at this level also get like a blood transfusion. But I understand my character might not know that. So, again, I don't remember what's my medicine score, and it would be helpful to know that before I choose a given option. But wait, he had a key, and I cannot... did I pick it up, or can't I right now? The doorknob doesn't budge, it's locked, of course from the inside. The architect must have been a sadist. Where did I put the key? What? What? How can it be locked from the inside? If, to be honest, like bathrooms here in Poland, most of them don't even have like an actual key. They have like a twist lock with the, I don't know how it's called in English, but it's not a key. You just lock them from the inside because they are occupied. But you know, how can it be locked from the inside if there are no windows? Like, I guess maybe there's a window right there, over there, that would go on the outside. Where did I put the key? Apparently I put it in the sink. But why can't I pick it up from Kevin's body? Like, he pulled it off from the sink, and there was an option to pick it up, but there exists one no longer. I think that's a bit weird, because what about him being dead stops me from searching his body again? That should be an unlimited kind of action. Like, what, did the key mysteriously disappear? That's knock, I guess. Although that's a little nonsensical, but you know, why did I do that? Well, I just wanted to try it. Crowbar the door. Sure, but I don't remember. I don't understand. Why can't I just pick up the key? You jimmy the crowbar just right. With a little elbow grease, you hear a creak, and the door glides open. Yeah, there is no window in the bathroom, so what's up with locking it from the inside if I'm on the outside? Like, whoever locked it, how, what? How does this even work with no window? Now the bags under your eyes are the most prominent they've ever been. Your skin seems strangely ashy and pale. Upon closer inspection, you see that your canines have grown into fangs. What is happening to me? Sifting through your cosmetic products, you find a bobby pin on the counter. Wish I had this sooner. Well, did I take it? You open up the mirror and grab an off-brand painkiller. Without reading the label, you pop 2 pills. What's the worst some more liver damage gonna do? Anything else there? Okay. I think this is possibly an oversight, unless it is a deliberate mechanic where I'm dead, so I can't OD. But I don't think it should work like this, where I can repeat the same action like 20 times in a row or whatever. and the text is exactly the same. Like, I've done it already, so at the very least, if it is intended that you do it a couple of times and I just take 6 pills instead of 2, I think the text should be different to indicate that. It should indicate that it's a repeat action and not actually a quirk of the design. That it's actually happening in universe, and that it's different from just clicking it once. Take a shower. Okay. Ready to relax in a hot shower, you open the curtain only to find a one-eyed corpse staring back at you, as if this night couldn't get any worse. No, says my inner monologue. Find the cause of death. Wouldn't that be having your eye gouged out? I guess that wouldn't kill you, if you wouldn't, like, unless you went straight through the back of the skull to the brain. In addition to his missing eye, he has several bruises and gashes across his face and neck. He most likely died of blood loss. What do? I need to turn myself in. To be honest, I would probably do that. Like, me, personally, I have a pretty high standard for accepting the existence of supernatural, so I would just think I most likely went insane and I'm a danger to other people. Which I clearly am. That latter part is actually true. I do think I need to turn myself in, actually. Why? He's just food, says my beast. There's that voice again. It's coming from the front door, the knocking. Who is that? Kill them. They are getting more aggressive. Okay, I think me looking at the body shouldn't preclude me searching the body, unless what you're trying to tell me is that it took too much time and whoever is at the door would have arrived at that time anyway. But to be honest, how long does it take to take a look at someone and try to determine how he died? It's mostly a sort of mental type of action. In fact, I am pretty convinced you could be doing both of those things at the same time in reality. Like, I would like to search the body, but I can't. And same with the other body. What precludes me from picking up the key after I tried to administer CPR to him? Like, I find that a little weird. Oh my god, what if it's the cops? Who cares? It's them or you. Looks like someone's been busy. Come on out, Lick, before you make even more of a mess. Hurry up and make this quick. I have plans later. Shoot them or crowbar them. What if I wanted to do neither? Like, if this is something that my beast compels me to do, which is defend myself with violence, I think there should be an introductory paragraph that makes that clear. Because I personally wouldn't necessarily attack them. They clearly seem to know what is going on, and there's 2 of them. And also, generally, I'm not, like, personally, obviously this is a game, it's a different situation, I'm a different character, I'm not myself, but if I were trying to put myself in this situation, I'm generally averse to violence overall, and definitely to initiating violence. Like, it would be much easier to attack for me to attack someone if he attacks me first, but I think there either should exist an option to just talk to them, or it should be made clear that your beast compelled you to attack. But I guess between those two, I would rather shoot them. Your attack connects, leaving a gnarly gash in Dominic, but he seems unbothered. His flesh reconnects as the wound heals before your eyes. Nice try, kid. He saunters towards you, pinning you to the corner, but he doesn't even raise his hands. Now, do you want to do this the hard way or the easy way? Well, to be honest, now it's kind of stupid because I attacked him. If I were thinking about this straight, I would think he has every reason to be cross with me now, even if he wasn't before, because I literally shot him. So why did I even do that? Like, why didn't the option exist not to do it? I guess I would try running. I know it's to no avail most likely, but before you even take a step, Dominic seemingly reads your mind and moves in with inhuman speed to block your exit. He shakes his head side to side, but keeps his devilish smirk. You sure know how to party, I'll give you that. He lights a cigar, blowing the smoke in your face. You've proven to be quite the headache. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to kill you. But I'm debating whether I should just go ahead and do it now, or drag you off to let my wife decide. Kill him, says my beast. You dig your nails into the flesh to stop the voice in your head. You're going to have to think clearly to get out of this one. How about this? I bet you have several questions. I'll answer them, so you can at least make peace with your death. Can't have any more ghosts chasing my tail. I'm a taken man. Several thoughts rush through your head at once. You know you can't take them, and it doesn't look like you can make a run for it either. You don't want to die either. Okay, this is written a bit clunkily. I think something could be changed here to avoid the repetition of the word either. Like, I'm pretty sure in the English language, if you have more than two things, you could use a different word here to make it make sense. I need to bide my time. And kill him. Well, I tried, it didn't work. One question in particular sticks out the most. What happened to me? Yeah. Dominic cackles. You don't know? He's calmed down, but he's still chuckling. You mean you still haven't figured it out yet? Damn, your sire really did you dirty. Well, no sense in pussyfooting around it. You're a vampire. That's impossible. A what? Don't act like you didn't hear me. We prefer the term kindred. Technically, yes, if you're a nerd. Kieran squints at Dominic, who responds with a shit-eating grin. Well, at least now you know you didn't kill for no reason. You were hungry. The crazy part is that it somewhat makes sense, not that it makes you feel any better. Any other questions? Yeah, I guess the most important question is, why are you going to kill me? Not your fault per se. Well, to be honest, okay, again, it's a bit disorienting that it keeps going without my input. She killed a man in cold blood. Well, there is that, but it's not like we're saints either. Let's just say we have a way of doing things and unfortunately your blood sucking is gonna fuck up our blood sucking if we don't put a stop to it. No hard feelings. Okay, this is again a typo, because per se it's a Latin term. I don't think, although maybe it exists in English like this, but I don't think so. I think it should be per se. It is Latin, so not per se. Like, English-speaking people say it as per se because to them it kind of makes sense when they are reading Latin. But I don't think it works like this from a grammatical standpoint. I am going to check that, and I'll let my friend know after I check that, because it would be a pretty scummy thing to do, to accuse her of making a typo in a game, and it's me who's stupid and didn't check it. Okay, so how did this happen? What do you mean by sire? Well, what happens now, I guess, is the most important question. Well, my friend, it looks like our time has come to an end. I would have loved to introduce you to the missus, but unfortunately for you, I have plans tonight, and I'm already running late. I hereby sentence you to death. To death too, Electric Boogaloo. Okay, I already kind of hate him. He's pretty obnoxious. Kieran rolls his eyes. Is now really the time for jokes? He walks around the room, briefly browsing your things. He stops at the investigation board. I'm trying to lighten the mood, you grumpy pants. He sighs. Just let's get it over with. Promise I'll make it quick. Dominic draws his 44 automatic pistol. He is a little too enthusiastic as he steps towards you. Fight back. Well, at this point, at the very least, I guess I could try. If there's ever a time for self-preservation, it is now. You reach for your weapon, but Dominic rushes you and pins you by the throat to the wall. Behind his sunglasses, he's all too chipper for a man holding a gun to your head. You close your eyes. This is it. Okay, so apparently my last thought is of my ex-husband, which kind of makes me curious what made us ex in the first place if we supposedly care for each other that much. I want you to know, despite appearances, I am not into this. I call bullshit. I press X to doubt. She's a PI. Looking back at Kieran, hands still firm around your neck. And don't you think it would be useful having a lick indebted to you who knows how to be discreet and sniff out the secrets? I wouldn't exactly call her discreet. Cops haven't gotten her yet. Dominic slightly loosens his grip, but remains steadfast. His brow furrows. You can see the cogs in his mind spin. I see why Kate keeps you around, Kieran. You make good points, but Sam will be pissed if she found out I let a fledgling who can't even change their own diaper go. I'm not a native English speaker, and I do believe my friend had a native English speaker do like the check the dialogue and all that. But I'm kinda sure that this is a sentence that doesn't really make sense in the English language, because it's a conditional, right? And it's a conditional with will. It should be Sam will be pissed if she finds out. Present simple here. Or would be pissed if she found out. I'm pretty sure something's finicky about this. Again, I am going to check before I actually let my friend know in private, because again, it would be pretty obnoxious to say she made a mistake without checking, but I am, my English senses are tingling, even though I'm not a native English speaker. There's something weird about this sentence. I'm not a child, you dickwad. Keep her on a short leash for a time being, a trial run, and then bring her to the court once she has proven herself useful. If she's not, proceed as planned. Dominic stays silent for a few moments before his cheeky smile returns. He lets go of your throat as quickly as he grabbed it, causing you to drop to the floor. He turns around to face Kieran. You've convinced me, but she's your responsibility. She fucks up, your ass is on the line too. Hope whatever ulterior motive you have is worth it. Okay. Okay, so another pointer I have. I think it should clearly display here, because from my point of view, this is dialogue selection, right? I'm saying those things out loud, but oh, damn it. I didn't want to click it, actually. I'm nobody's pet, whatever you want to call it. Better behave, though, or you will be put down. You should be thanking Kieran. I do have one condition, though, because I can't go home to my wife breaking too many traditions, lest the rabble starts thinking I'm handling out hall passes willy-nilly. You need to find your sire tonight, or else. That's impossible. I don't even remember where I was last night. Kieran curses under his breath. Well, hate to be an asshole, but that sounds like a you problem. Just kidding. I love being an asshole. He taps his foot a couple of times, glancing at the ground. I can give you a clue, however. Okay, first of all, as I said, I assume whatever I choose here is my actual dialogue. I say it out loud, but in the previous case, it was actually my inner monologue. I was choosing my thoughts, and I feel like that should be clearly described, because there are certain things that I would think in a given situation, but I wouldn't necessarily say them out loud. And I think this lack of distinction is a disaster waiting to happen. And also, I think that the dialogue is a little sequence broken, because I haven't asked him what a sire is. I don't think my character should know that when they say sire, they mean my maker, because that hasn't been clearly described to me as of yet. So I think the dialogue should be a little bit modified depending on what questions you asked before that. But this doesn't take it into account. In a flash, he pulls out a knife and cuts your palm open. Thick dark blood slowly leaks out. Ow. He grips your hand and slurps up a glob of blood. As his tongue makes contact with the slash, it seals before you. Can I do that? And besides, wouldn't that... Like, can vampires blood bond each other with their blood? Like, wouldn't that blood... Like, wouldn't him consuming my blood sort of be a step in the direction of a blood bond? Although he's most likely a higher, or rather a lower generation, so maybe it doesn't work on him. I'm, not an expert on Vampire the Masquerade lore. Can I do that? And again, okay, so this is just a mistake then. This is a mistake in the game. I am saying that out loud, but it displays wrong here. Of course, you're a Bruja. What's that supposed to mean? You come from an ancient bloodline of kindred, known for their radical tendencies, with roots as far back as the Bolshevik Revolution and the ancient Carthage. That's two events that have... Basically, it's not your fault you're annoying. Also, based on the potency of your blood, I can tell your sire is not somebody to be messed with. So best of luck to you two. Dominic starts walking towards the door. I'm off. I'll send a team to clean it up later. Pleasure to finally meet you, Desiree. I'll check in later. He takes off his shades and winks. This is well, no time to waste. Do you remember anything from yesterday? This is a very weird way of... Like, the Bolshevik Revolution, first of all, wasn't even... Like, what time does it take? It wasn't... This is like the 80s, so it wasn't even yet 100 years ago, and it has nothing to do with Carthage. So, it seems to me, this sentence makes no sense. Like, who says, you know, you have ties to an ancient bloodline that goes as far back as the Bolshevik Revolution, and then ancient Carthage? Like, those two events have nothing to do with each other, and they are, you know, they are thousands of years apart. So, well, you know, 2000. But still, that's a bit weird of a sentence. I don't think a normal person would say it like this. I guess I did remember I woke up. Smartass, great. Let's look around for any clues. If you're going down, I'm not going down with you. Shouldn't it be plural here? Clues? Any clues? Or, well, it could be any clue, I guess. Also, I think. Well, I guess thanks for saving me. Kieran shrugs. I didn't do it for you. +1 Kieran influence. Why did you do it then? We don't have time to chit-chat. Figure out where you were last night. Okay, so I actually get Kieran as a companion. And I can... Oh. Okay, that seems to be a bug. Because I... How to replicate that? Okay, I'm clicking, but it's stuck on this. Okay, that's definitely something to look into. Because I'm clicking, and it reverts back to him. Like, I don't know how to make it... Maybe I need to hold? No. Okay, there's definitely something weird going on with this. Because I have to click, like, on the side of the name to make it switch. Which is pretty unintuitive. Because if I'm here at her character sheet and I try to switch it, it spurgs out. I have to click on the side of the name to switch it, which is pretty counterintuitive. There's definitely something weird going on with that, so probably something to look into. He's a pretty skilled character, seems like it. But figure out where you were last night. Well, anything in my trash can, like receipts from... shifting through your trash, you find a bar tab receipt from the club embassy. Looks like you had a good night. I found our next stop, Club Embassy of the Strip. He scratches his head. You're kidding. My sire sort of owns that place. Sort of? I'll tell you in the car. You're driving. Leave your apartment. Okay, that's again something I think should be changed, because I wanted to check out those other things, and I can't just because I fulfilled my main objective, which I think that's a mistake. Like, let me explore the world to the fullest, even if I would get the same information twice from different sources. That would still be cool and still interesting, but instead I'm cut off. Like, I could check the TV before or some other things over here, but now I can't. I think that's a mistake in design. or at least, you know, a wasted opportunity, if not anything else. Okay, so I guess that was just a short scene. Now, my initial impressions are a little mixed. I understand this is not a high-budget game, this is literally a fan-made game, so you can't expect, for example, I don't really expect complicated animations and stuff. I understand budgeting and resources are a thing, especially for this small-scale type of a project, but I think there are things that could be improved, even on a small-scale project like this. For example, the exposition at the beginning was very clunky. I think it was unnecessary to put it like this. I think some of the interactions were a little botched in that taking a certain action excluded other actions, even though by rights it really shouldn't. There was no logical explanation of why it should. And you know, in terms of design, or rather in terms of narrative, I can't say like I'm immediately hooked by this. In fact, I'm not sure. I'll have to ask my friend about it because I don't know. I'm not sure if this is the first scene from the game or if this is just what they had ready as a demo. Because if it is the first scene, then I think it would hit much differently, you know, you changing into a vampire. If you had time with your character as a human, you know, learning about the relationships and what they are going to lose once they are going to get turned. Because as is, you know, what is there to pity the character for if you don't know what their life has been before they have been embraced? Like, there's not that much sense of a loss connected with that. And there were some minor things with the dialogue that I think could be improved. What I liked the aesthetic, you know, the neon-y UI. This landing page in itself is pretty nice, and the illustrations for the characters. I'm pretty sure my friend actually does them by herself because she's an illustrator, among other things. I'm pretty sure most of the graphical design for this is done by her specifically, and that definitely looks pretty good. And I liked the skill checks. I think that's a given for this type of game. Although I would suggest putting your dice pool near to different options, or at least maybe an option to switch that on and off. You know, if you don't want to know your chances, then sure, you can switch it off. But I think it would be beneficial, because how am I to make an informed decision if I don't remember off the top of my head what my character is good at? My character herself would know that, right? She would know, oh, I'm better at like persuasion than manipulation or whatever, generally speaking. You could make this kind of judgment about yourself, and I think that should be an option in the game. I am definitely going to check out the full version if and when it comes out, and I wish all the best to my friend and all the team in the game jam. Hopefully they do well and get noticed. That was just a short, different thing that I did partially as a favor and partially just because I was curious. I am quite a big fan of Vampire the Masquerade by myself, so I was just interested to see what they are going to do with it. So that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!